I think I've learned, well, a lot about the, 11 kids who are being honored tonight, and really a lot about my colleagues, too, the anchors and the reporters out there. Angela Spears in her underoos. I don't know how I'll look at her tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. You know, most teenagers, when they're in school, they probably would admit that poetry class is not the #1 class they would enjoy going to. But one Fletcher High School student enjoys doing that, Matthew Hernandez. In fact, he excels at it. How many kids do you know not only write poetry, but also perform it in front of sometimes hundreds of people?
Why do I feel blank on my pages? And why do I feel lost like my rages? And why do I question my glass when it's empty? You see, my mind is a glass and poetry is the fluid that flows through me.
17-year-old Matthew Hernandez uses the power of the spoken word to dramatically capture the elements of society's most important issues.
Two twin titans begin to tumble towards tragedy. So sad to see terror's terrible thoughts start becoming a reality. Single out entire races, judging only by what our eyes can see. Starting wars of smaller countries, sending good men to their fatalities.
Matthew has created a poetry speaking group called Shattered Thoughts, pleasing audiences and his insatiable drive to put his emotions on paper.
In order for me to write about something, I have to have an extremely strong feeling for it. Like, I write a lot about love, I have pieces about child abuse. You see, I step out of my shoes for a second. Take a look at a life that's been tormented, a child whose whole world seems demented, abused as a youngster growing up with his body seeming cemented.
Matthew puts his other skills as an outgoing teenager to work at the beach's Boys and Girls Club. 3 times a week for the last 3 years, he's volunteered his time to hang out with the younger kids.
The youth they really look up to Matthew, and he's such a dedicated young man. He's such a responsible young man, well-rounded, very tasteful. He's just collectively a great young man.
Matthew also teaches young adults how to write poetry, with the hope of one day after college, letting his artistic work help others.
I'd like to open a venue for the arts, a lot with music or dancing, poetry, whatever. And I'd like to do that a lot for the community. Of course, I'm not perfect, and I can do wrong too. But try to find in your heart to forgive us, Father, but we know not what we do.
Matthew Hernandez, one of 12 kids who care.
Next.